我现在好想念你们
And I
在
think
中
that's
国
all
可
of
以
us,
吃
right?
火锅啊什么的，我这边我现在菜都
今天中午才吃了串串，
Savage
今天中午才吃了串串，
Okay.
羡慕羡慕。
Guys, welcome to another episode of Quaranvino and Friends. This time I get to sit down with all my friends in China to talk about what the life is like after the coronavirus. To begin, if all of you guys can just quickly introduce yourself, just say your name, what city you're in, what are you doing at home these days, that'd be fantastic. Let's start off with Yudi.
Hey guys, I'm Yuri. I live in Shenzhen right now, and I have started working for almost 2 months. Yeah.
All right, I'm Kevin, and I'm in Shanghai. And I quit my job in mid-March, so I've been just staying at home, going to parties, going to gym, and that's it.
Hi everybody, my name is Linson. I live in Chengdu, the southwest, the center southwest of China, and I stay at home every day, and also I go to gym every day as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Peng Long. I live in Shenyang, as northeast part of China. Pretty much I'm working on my final project right now. It's kind of killing me, but I try to go to gym 3 times a week, and it's pretty much working on my final project.
I am Cassandra, and I am in Beijing, mostly staying at home still, working from home and doing other sort of stuff, mainly at home.
Hi, I'm Cherry. I live in Chongqing, and these days I just enjoy the Labor Day holidays and hang out with my friends like nowadays. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bingrou. I'm from Shanghai. I am currently also enjoying my 劳动节 off. I'm just hanging out with friends most of the time.
Fantastic. Again, thank you guys for joining me. From your perspective, what is the general consensus on the streets? You know, are people still kind of afraid of the coronavirus, or are they sort of more kind of nonchalant about it when they're walking around on the streets?
Like everybody is on the street.
Are they still wearing masks?
It's like normal days, just with mask on. That's it. But like when you go into the mall, you still have to wear it. But in restaurants and other like indoor spaces, you can just take it off.
Yeah.
Are they requiring temperature checks, hand sanitizers?
Yes.
No sanitizer, but temperature checks.
Temperature check.
Well, like casually, like they don't even care.
So the general consensus is more kind of like this is over and people are kind of returning to normal, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say people are still taking precautions like while they're going out, and there are some like measurements that they're taking, but not as serious as like 2 months ago, I guess. Like there's still temperature checks. Some places have hand sanitizer, but it's not like, oh my gosh, you have to check your temperature, like fill out this, fill out that, and like it's not that serious anymore.
I know from what I've seen in the news, the QR code was pretty prevalent, right? Wherever you went, you scan your QR code. Is that still happening right now?
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday I went to the supermarket, and the guard, they still ask you to show your QR code.
For your work, has anything changed at work at all? As far as like, has your company taken extra precautions? For example, like during lunch, you can't go out to eat, or you can't like sit face to face to eat with each other. Are those procedures still being carried through?
I feel like more people started like packing their lunch to work. But like for people who don't cook, they still like go out and eat.
I started working for like 2 months, and for the first week we have an individual, like a room especially for lunchtime that people have to sit separately. And for the first week we couldn't open the air conditioner.
Oh, wait, why? Like you cannot use the air conditioner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Some people
that's
think
unfortunate.
Some record shows that like some of the disease is like transmitted by like within the central controlled like AC unit. Like it travels through the tunnel and get other people sick. Like there are some like that. Yeah.
When you go out as well, some of the business that you do see, for example, like restaurants or like shops, like what specific measures or precautions that you've seen that was very unique that maybe they established during the era of coronavirus that they have just completely carried?
In the karaoke 纯K, they still using the plastic cup.
Okay.
Because, yeah, because of the virus. They don't use the glass right now.
I really, and they use glass as well.
Are they, so like when you go to restaurants, is straws like a thing?
We do have straws.
There is a lot more disposable utensils and stuff used in the non-fancy restaurant if it's okay not to disrupt the atmosphere. So, but in the more like that nicer restaurant, they use other approach such as distancing the tables instead of using disposable ones. But yes, they do use a lot more plastics and disposable stuff.
Okay. When you said that restaurants are distancing like guests, like about what percentage would you say? Like, is it very different? Like, is restaurants only running at 20%, 50%?
That percentage keeps changing according to the risk levels. But say a few days ago when it's Starbucks, like not a few days ago, a few weeks ago when it's still kind of serious, it was only like 30% of normal capacity, I would say. It's very distanced, all the tables.
Yeah, in Chengdu, I noticed that it's very normal that they don't keep distance right now. I mean, in the restaurant, because
Wow.
they are almost full every day.
Yeah, I think it's
Most
definitely
restaurant,
different.
yeah.
Because
So they don't keep distance.
Beijing, they only
Mhm.
like in Beijing. We only it was 3 days ago. The risk
Mhm.
level changed from high to low. So
Yeah.
that definitely makes a difference. And now I see a lot more people going out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I know I saw that in Shanghai, there was like robots that was handing out hand sanitizers on the streets. Now, what kind of other kind of technology have you seen that kind of came out of this? I know in Chengdu, my dad sent me a video of a robot delivering hot pot materials. What are some of the other things that you guys have really noticed? I was like, oh, wow. Like, so from this coronavirus, we've gone from here to here.
But like in coffee shops, they they would recommend you to do like order on your phone instead of like ordering in person. Like most of the coffee shops do that now, but before the virus thing, they didn't do that as much. I feel like.
Digital ordering is more prevalent.
Yeah, right.
What are some of the other good practice that you feel like China, from prior to opening up and establishing the procedures to opening up, that China really did a good job on enforcing kind of transition back into the workforce?
I guess like as a person just came back from the US and went through the whole like quarantine thing. I think before I went back, like China pretty much got like everything like under control. Like the numbers are going down and everything. They're just trying to like pretty much control like the incoming like from foreign country like incoming cases. I guess like I went to the airport and like I landed and like I got tested like 2 times in like 2 days. One in the airport and they make sure I'm negative. When I check into the hotel the next day, they tested me. They measure my temperature like twice every day, and they're just making sure like everything's okay. Like you have to do the 14 days, and then when you go back, you have to do, for my province, it's like 7 days stay at home. Like you have to sign with your like community and like all those steps that are trying to like pretty much control like the outcoming like incoming like patients from foreign country, I guess. And also like uh, decreasing the number like domestically, I guess. But other than that, I think that measure is like pretty good in terms of like getting the second wave, like keep like getting the second wave going, like to prevent that.
Okay. One thing in the States right now that we're seeing is just like, even for me right now, is there's not that many people wearing masks. So the notion of second wave seems like there is no second, because it's going to be a constant thing that's going to happen.
I think for most people, um, we don't wear masks properly, including myself, because it's yeah, I feel like it's very. I'm not sure if the face masks really works because like I think you have to change it every 2 hours if you strictly follow the rules. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, we just I think I change once a day. But
Yeah, me
yeah, I
too.
have people touching their face mask every day, every time they enter the restaurant, they take it off. So yeah, I think we can talk about this, and I think there's also like culture background behind this.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with the cultural background on on wearing masks as well, because obviously in the Asian culture, you know, mask is a lot more prevalent than here in the States. The other day, I saw this person that had one of those like big socks, and like she literally just tucked the big socks right above her nose from her chin, and it was hilarious. But that's just the reality of in the States. Personally, for you guys though, like obviously you guys have been quarantined a lot longer than where I'm at right now. What's your biggest takeaway of staying home? Like, did you feel like you learned something, or like did you feel like you kind of went through like a mental breakdown, or did you go through a mental development? Like, what's your personal take on that?
I feel uh, actually, to be honest, I feel good when I stay at home because I can. I use one of the app called Keep, and I just lost like 20 pounds
Wow.
in one and a half month, and I just follow the instruction on the app every day almost, and I I almost burn like up to 1,000 calories every day, and actually I live in the military area, so it's much safer than other places, and I can run on the playground every day, in the playground every day. So I think lose weight is I really enjoyed it.
That sounds great, man. Because like right now, I'm definitely enjoying my wine. You know.
I just finished one bottle.
Had a pretty great experience staying at home too. Although I had a 14 days quarantine, like stay at home quarantine after I came back from Yunnan, the family thing. It was frustrating, like because I wasn't allowed to go out of my apartment at all. It's not even the compound, but the apartment. I'm not allowed to go out the door. There's a door on. There's a poster on my door outside of the door says this person is under quarantine. Appreciate neighbors supervisions, which is really stressful. So I couldn't walk. I couldn't like take a walk outside, which is stressful, but overall staying at home just gave me a lot of time to read or to exercise or to cook and cleaning, so all those things actually is good for your mental health and growth overall and reflection. So a lot of goods are done, I think, but I think there's a prerequisite, which is I'm lucky to not be impacted negatively, including like financially or health wise. I was healthy the whole time. So like a lot of people got like minor colds or just normal illness that we got very normally, but that gets very stressful at this time. If you just get a cold and you're coughing, even though it's nothing, you feel very worried. So I was lucky to not have that, and also work has been okay. So there's that.
It's fantastic, Kevin.
Hmm?
What's your takeaway from staying home, man?
Well, working out. I've been like, cause I used to only go to the gym, but yeah, I bought some of the equipment to at home, and then yeah, I lost a lot of weight and gained a lot of muscles. And despite from these, well, I just tell myself I should like save more time like on like improve my skills, like yeah, like what I told you the past month I was doing like the Excel thing, yeah, and the VBA and all that.
I think there's a week after the Chinese New Year, and everything is getting very devastated for me because I can't just help myself browsing those news every day, and I couldn't sleep. I think it was a very tough time for me. I don't know anybody else have the same experience, but then I just doing a lot of reading and watch movies. Yeah, but there's a couple of days that I've been very yeah, it's been a tough time for me.
It's interesting that you bring up
Yes.
news because I think in the beginning phase for me, it was like kind of watching the news from all of you guys, you know, in China and from what you guys post in WeChat. But then it like hits here. So, and then I'm looking at the news like, okay, like keeping up to date, like where's that at? How many cases? But then I think like after 3 weeks of that, you just kind of like wipe all that out, you know? Like I don't completely get rid of it, but it's no longer on the top of my mind. It's more like, okay, cool. Like how am I going to handle my day now? And then at the end of the night, you kind of pop on and be like, okay, cool, couple cases, couple hundred cases. And then you just kind of calibrate that into what works for you and you just kind of move on.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's kind of like divided into a few phases. Because before I came back, I was living in New York, which it got really fucked up. Sorry about the crazy story, but it's the epicenter of the whole thing. It even like go over like Wuhan, the number. It's like really crazy. Like my mom will call me every day. She will actually give me a mental breakdown by like kind of like worrying and like kind of crying and like after a few days my grandparents are like on the phone with me and like they are starting to like crush like being really anxious about the situation. I was like, okay, like you guys need to stop. Before I wasn't even to like plan to like go back, but like now I kind of have to. First, New York is getting really dangerous. You have to take the public transportation to go everywhere. Also like my parents and grandparents are going crazy, so I decided to came back, and now it's starting to like moving on to the quarantine phases, which is like constant like worry about your like physical situation. Like even though you have a minor like situation or a minor symptom, or like you just tired from the 15-hour flight and you think you have a symptom, it's just like anxious, and like you get your heart starting to beat fast whenever there's a temperature like measurement and like stuff like that. And after that it just like relief and you know getting like into normal life, and that's my like mental like movement roller coaster, that kind of sort of thing.
I appreciate you guys very much for hopping on here. One last thing is, what would your advice be if you were to give into like, you know, to other countries, like in the States, to the people, like how should they go about handling it? Or tips that you guys have? Just follow the procedures, or would you recommend actually taking the personal precaution, or just when things open up, just go back to normal?
Well, I know like the beach is reopened next week, right? And I just suggest people not to go. Yeah.
Honestly, the beaches is pretty bad out here. It's bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, going back to the news thing, like there is a lot of, I wouldn't say negativity, but like negative information online. But my suggestion would be to like limit your time on the internet to like read about this news, because like staying positive is definitely really important during this period of time. That would be my advice.
I see many protests right now in Lansing, and people even having the gun going to the government. I think that's very crazy. And just I want to say to people, especially in Lansing, just stay at home, and the freedom is valueless from the healthy.
Perfect.
Yeah, it just stay at home, wear masks, don't protest. You will always have your freedom. It's just a period of time. After this, we'll all be okay. Like, don't even like think about that. You're just being irresponsible and like giving it to all other people. Just stay at home, be safe, and like be positive, I guess.
Yeah, I think if you can stand, just stay at home, and you want to go out, I suggest you just drive a car to like state park. But if you see anybody else like in a state park, just drive away. Just enjoy the atmosphere and environment alone. Yeah, do not to talk to others if you just go out there.
I think one of my biggest takeaway for this so far is the ability to actually catch up with, all of you guys, to catch up with my family, to catch up with friends. It's very interesting because in the beginning, when I was working, like my times are always skewed. Since this kind of hit, I was able to call my dad, call my sister like every single day, and like this morning at 3:00 in the morning, my sister, she just sent me a voicemail and saying, "Hey, I just finished playing piano. Are you up yet?" So, so it's kind of nice to appreciate the positive stuff that come out of this. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you all of you guys for watching. 谢谢你们，谢谢大家。
Thank you.
哎呀，不容易啊你。
真的
太不容易。
Yo, my hair is long right now, man. It's like long, like to the point where gravity is pulling it down.